Yo, this is Solo, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. The artist team's called Grunt, and this is Pokemon Masters EX. Well guys, I'm finally done with this video. It's 5:30 AM my time, and actually, my clock broke down. It's already 5:40 something. And, you know, by the time this premieres, I'll probably be asleep, but please, you know, shower this video with love, even if probably I'm not in the live chat, because this took forever to finish. There are 6 different sync pairs, and, you know, the more sync pairs, the harder it is to do a video, because I have to edit all the slides, all the status screens, infographics whatsoever, if you want to call it, and compile all the data from Absol-utely's data mine. So I would appreciate it if you would give this some love, like how you showered our gem count video with so much love. Thank you guys so much for that, and thank you for 7,000 subscribers. We finally hit that milestone. Next milestone is gonna be 10K. So let's make that happen. Subscribe if you haven't, because you are in the perfect place for Pokemon Masters EX content. And every single thumbs up you give will help this video get exposed, get more exposure, and, you know, shared to other Pokemon Masters EX fans out there. I know there are a lot more of you guys. So, you know, you can also share this video to others, and make sure you comment who you plan to scout for after listening to my, you know, analysis of each one. So this will be like how I did last month. This will be like a bird's eye view of all sync pairs. I'll make an individual analysis eventually, a couple of days before each sync pair comes out. But unfortunately, I'm sorry to say that I will not be able to make an individual analysis for Grimsley, just because I do not have time, and I don't think I want to push my body too hard that I do not get sleep today. So I'm gonna try my best to explain or share my thoughts on Grimsley in this video, and the others will be in other videos separate. But this is a bird's eye view of everyone, starting with Kimono Grimsley, Signature Luzamine, Classic Alessa, Holiday Leon, Holiday Nessa, and Sonia. So these are the dates that they will be coming out. November 26, that's later for Grimsley. November 30 for Signature Luzamine. December 9 for Classic Alessa. December 16 for Leon. 18 for Nessa. And 23 for whatchamacallit, for Sonia. Sonia reaches next year, January 7, so her banner will last until January 7. You have time for that. Meanwhile, for the others, let's say that out of everyone, there is one Master Fair, and that is Signature Luzamine. There are 2 seasonals, and that is Leon and Nessa. There's one Poke Fair, which is Classic Alessa, and there are 2 Spotlight Scouts, which is Grimsley and Sonia. Bird's eye view, you know, Master Fair is the highest chance of getting a 5-star sync pair. Random 5-star, there's a 12% chance of getting that, as well as your first 5 multi-pools will be able to give you a lot of different presents. Poke Fairs, on the other hand, give you a 10% chance of getting a random 5-star sync pair. Spotlight Scouts and Seasonal Scouts share the same rate, 7% chance of getting a random 5-star. But everything except for the Master Fair gives you a 2% chance of getting that specific unit. Meanwhile, Master Fair or Signature Luzamine, you only have a 1% chance of obtaining her. It's up to you whether you want to, you know, risk it with the Master Fair, but as you might hear later, Signature Luzamine is pretty powerful. Spotlight Scouts, on the other hand, you might want to skip on Spotlight Scouts unless you really like Grimsley or Sonia, because once their banner ends, so on December 10, let's just say on Cygnus with Leon, or rather Holiday Leon and Holiday Nessa's banners, as well as Sonia's banners, you are able to scout for Grimsley. You'll be able to scout for Grimsley there. Meanwhile, for the others, Sonia will be available on a banner after January 7. That's still a long way to go, but that's that, guys. And also, we will be getting New Year sync pairs probably on January first week, possibly January 1 actually. So immediately after Leon and Nessa's banners ends, we will be having new seasonals there. So make sure you save up your gems, spend wisely, and that's that, guys. So that is my intro. Let us begin now with Grimsley Kimono, or Kimono Grimsley and Bisharp. This is what his banner looks like, or rather his mindscape looks like. So if case you see this, congratulations, you got Grimsley. I'm gonna flip a coin. Will it be heads or tails? Coincidentally, trivia, Grimsley is the very first sync pair that you can get 3 different outfits as a Spotlight Scout. We have the normal OG Grimsley, we have Cygnus with Grimsley, we have Kimono Grimsley. He's the first sync pair. You can get all 3 forms in a Spotlight Scout. So good job. Good job with the favoritism. He has these moves, which is Iron Head, Screech, and Metal Burst. But before we discuss that, let's watch his sync move animation first. Here we go. Poor Lucario! Coin flip of destiny, Iron Head. The more the target's defense is lowered, the stronger the move is. And how do you lower the opponent's defense? Use Screech, that's a 2 move gauge attack, and it lowers the target's defense by 2 stat ranks. Remember that he is a tech unit, so that means if he's 6-star EX, you only get to hit 1 single opponent. Screech only targets 1 single opponent as well. Iron Head is his main attack. It is 3 move gauge and has a 30% chance of making the target flinch. Meanwhile, Metal Burst is an interesting thing. How do you want to do this? You use his trainer move Stay Sharp first. Basically, it raises your attack stat by 6. It maximizes your critical hit rate, plus 3. It gives you a super effective up next. It gives you an endure effect. And it lowers your defense and special defense to -6. Or -6 if you have raised your defense stat. But I think you do not want to raise anyone's defense. You use this first. You lower your defense to -6 and special defense to -6. And after that, you use Metal Burst. Now, what Metal Burst will do is that because of his passive skill, Grimsley's Gambit, this is so connected, guys. Because of his passive skill, Grimsley's Gambit, the opponent will target you. You will go to a counter-attacking position. That means you cannot do anything. Now, while you're there, vulnerable and all, the opponent will attack you. And then because your defense and special defense are -6, expect to be one-shot by stronger opponents, probably in Champion Stadium. Expect to be one-shot. But you will not be killed because you have an endure effect. So that means your HP goes down to 1. You counter the opponent using, the more damage you have taken, the stronger your move is. So expect your HP to go down to 1. You counter the opponent. I'm not sure if it's gonna be double damage or a bit whatever. Just you counter the opponent. And then Grimsley's Gambit will raise your lowered stats back to 0. So your defense and special defense goes back to 0. And then your evasiveness stat goes up +6. And then his second passive skill, Full First Aid, recovers your HP to maximum. So that's how you use him. You maximize your attack stat and critical hit rate. You give a super effective up next. You get an endure effect. Your defense goes down to the lowest possible if it's 0. Goes to -6. Or, you know, if you raise it, -6. And then you counter the opponent using Metal Burst. The opponents will attack you because of Grimsley's Gambit. You counter the opponent, your HP goes down to minimum, endure status most likely. And then you recover your HP to maximum, your evasiveness goes to maximum. Your defense and special defense goes to 0. That's how you use him. And it's a strange way of using a sync pair, but you know, this passive skill is exclusive to him. And I guess that's that for a gambler of sorts. So interestingly interesting. And yeah, let's just continue with this Synchron, which 1 out of 5 you get nothing. 2 out of 5 you get a BOGO 9. Applies the free move next effect to the user after you use Stay Sharp. So you Stay Sharp, and then you use you wanna use whatchamacallit, you wanna use Metal Burst. And by the way, if you have not noticed, his attack stat is quite high at 436. HP, defense, special defense speed, speed on the low side, but those are level 135 stats. And as you might notice also, he does not get anything at 1 out of 5 and not exactly anything remarkable at 2 out of 5. He gets good at 3 out of 5 though. And it's hard to recommend sync pairs that just get everything at 3 out of 5, but he is a Spotlight Scout, and that means you can probably get him to 3 out of 5 eventually as you scout for other sync pairs. Probably that's not going to be a problem. In terms of, or in case of seasonals or poke fairs or any limited sync pairs, having everything at 3 out of 5 is an issue for me, or at least for free-to-play players. But I guess this is fine. 3 out of 5 you get critical healing too, so every time you use or you land a critical hit, you have a 30% chance of recovering some HP, which is good. At 3 out of 5 you also get Harry 3. If the opponent is flinching, your moves get powered up. Haymaker, the stronger your attack stat is, the higher your sync moves, or the stronger your sync moves are gonna be. And how do you increase your attack stat? Stay Sharp maximizes your attack stat immediately. Insult to injury, the lower the opponent's defense is, the stronger your attacks are gonna be. Aggravation 1 raises the chance of, you know, landing or making the opponent flinch using Iron Head. Metal Burst Critical Strike 3, it's gonna make your Metal Burst more powerful. Metal Burst MP Refresh 4, 50% chance of raising your or restoring your MP, because Metal Burst is only 1 move gauge or 1 MP. You can only use this once. But honestly, I don't see the purpose of using a second Metal Burst, because once you do Grimsley's Gambit, your evasiveness goes to +6. That means the enemy will have a little bit of trouble hitting you. And that also means you get to, you know, Grimsley will just be there to wait stupidly for the opponent to hit it. And until then, I'd rather use Iron Head on the enemy rather than just waiting for the opponent to hit us. But because of risky counter 9, you might want to kind of invest in this basically reduces your sync move countdown when you are able to counter the opponent using Metal Burst. So, do you want risky counter 9? You want to risk the opponent hitting you if it will even hit you because of your evasiveness buff, and lower your sync move countdown. You need risky counter 9 and Metal Burst MP refresh 4. That will probably eat up quite some sync grid things, and I was not able to check their sync grid and how to tile it for this one because I lack time and it's 6 AM now. So that's for Grimsley. A very interesting sync pair. You need to get hit first because that's how he works. You need to get hit, then you recover back every single bit of your HP, every single bit of lowered stats, maximize your attack stat, maximize your evasiveness stat. Very interesting sync pair. We'll go to the numbers later, but that's Grimsley, Kimono Grimsley and Bisharp coming tomorrow. And if you make him 6-star EX, his sync move will hit 1.5 times damage. More stronger. Now let's move on to Lusamine. This, a lot of people have been telling me Lusamine is busted, blah blah blah, blah blah, Master Fair, strongest Master Fair ever, strongest sync pair ever. Is it true? Is it true? Well, now we get to analyze her a little bit. She comes out on November 30 and ends on December 28th, or last day is December 28th. And if you see this background image, congratulations, you got Signasuit Lusamine. Let's watch her sync move animation right now. Nice. No! Lucario has been what's the term? Let's just say incinerated. There's a better term for that one. Poor Lucario! Poor Lucario! Anyway, she has Mirror Shot, which is a 2-move gauge attack that hits one opponent before using the sync move, and after using the sync move, Mirror Shot will hit everyone because her sync move, or rather her passive skill, Expand Reach, allows you to hit every single opponent after using a sync move. This is kind of like Anniversary End's Extend Reach, except that you have to use your sync move first before you're able to hit everyone. Prismatic Laser is a very powerful psychic type attack that also hits everyone after you use a sync move. But before using a sync move, you're only able to hit one opponent. And then you have Dire Hit Plus, which raises your critical hit rate by 2. And Luminous Love, her trainer move, reduces your sync move countdown by 2, maximizes your special attack, and lowers your speed stat by 1. Which is not bad because lowering speed stat, I guess, is better than lowering your defenses. And then there's Loving Light that burns the sky. Her sync move basically transforms Duskmane Necrozma to Ultra Necrozma. Before before this transformation happens, you have these passive skills. Alola Spirit, because she is a Master Fair, basically powers up the special attack moves of every single sync pair by 20% and reduces the special attack damage you receive. But again, these are only for normal moves and not sync moves. And then, the more sync pairs you have Alola in your group, the increases in percentage are to a maximum of 15%. To a maximum of 50% increase in special attack damage, and a maximum of 31% decrease in the received special attack damage from the opponent. Healthy Super Hit basically allows or gives you the super effective Up Next effect to Lusamine at the start of the battle if you have full HP, which is most of the time except in Champion Stadium, probably with HP minus 50 or in Battle Villa. And then you have Entry Freebie, which allows you to hit the enemy for free. For no need to use a move gauge for Prismatic Laser or Mirror Shot. And then, Expand Reach, as I said earlier, basically grants you the ability to hit every single opponent after you Mega Evolve. Rather, after you transform. Forgot the term. Forgot the term for Solgaleo transforming. And then, we have after she transforms, this is what the thing looks like. And as you may see, attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed go up. They did not shaft Ultra Necrozma, guys. Unlike Anniversary Steven, all the stats actually increase. And again, these are level 135 stats, so if you ever at level 140, the increase will be more powerful, stronger, better. And if you have her 6-star EX, the increases will be much higher. Special attack will go up to above 400 once you transform. And then, you get these passive skills. So Healthy Super Hit will transform to Super Duper Effective 2. If you hit the opponent with a super effective attack, it will be around 20 to 30% more powerful. And then every single time you use a move or an attack, you have a 50% chance of bringing back one move gauge. So a perfect lucky skill for her is Critical Strike 2, just because you can raise your critical hit. And I think, yeah, she's pretty strong. But let's check her sync grid right now, which, as you can see over here, Dire Hit plus MP Refresh at 1 out of 5, which is not that important. At 2 out of 5, we get an MP Refresh with Luminous Love, which you don't exactly need as well, because Luminous Love already raises your special attack by 6, but that sync move countdown reduced by 2 might be a good thing to get an MP refresh on. So if you want to use a sync move very quickly, probably a time trial event, and you might want to try for that MP refresh, and you might be able to use a sync move very quickly and defeat any time trial stage if there's one coming up, I don't know when. Precognition 3 quickly charges your move gauge in a psychic terrain. Weird Vibes, if the field is psychic terrain, you will be able to hit the enemy a little bit stronger with your attacks. Now, I don't think Lusamine has a way of creating psychic terrain on her own. The only sync pair I'm aware of that can land or that can bring in psychic terrain until now is Bianca. But correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section or in the live chat if you know any other sync pair that can bring in psychic terrain. But in my memory, I think Bianca is the only one who can do that as of the moment. And then 3 out of 5 Brain Sync when your special attack is raised. Basically, if you use her trainer move, your sync move will be stronger. Critical Strike 1 powers up her sync move or her normal moves if you land a critical hit. This Combobulate 4 has a 50% chance of lowering your opponent's accuracy stat when you hit the enemy. So, normally her Mirror Shot has a 30% chance of lowering the accuracy of the opponent. That means you have a 30% chance plus 50% chance of lowering the opponent's accuracy if you get this Combobulate 4. But now this Combobulate 4 will allow you to lower the opponent's accuracy even with Prismatic Laser. So that's a good thing because she gets a sync move multiplier, hide and sync, the lower the opponent's accuracy is, the stronger your sync move damage is gonna be. And double down 9 is a very good thing. Powers up your sync moves if the opponent is weak to psychic. That's like a 90 to 100% damage increase for landing a sync move that the opponent is weak to. And then Mirror Shot on a roll 1 raises the chance of lowering stat values. I heard that on a roll basically doubles the chance. So since Mirror Shot has a 30% chance of lowering the target's accuracy, having Honor Roll 1 will make this a 60% chance of lowering the opponent's accuracy. I think it works like that, but again, correct me if I'm wrong. And Prismatic Laser Propulsion 1, 20% chance of lowering or reducing your sync move countdown if you land a sync move, or rather, if you use Prismatic Laser on the opponent. Very, very strong sync pair with very strong multipliers. Honestly, you do not get a lot of sync pairs or strikers that has these many multipliers on a sync move. We get Brain Sync 5, we get Critical Strike 1, we get Double Down 9, and we get Hide and Sync. Now, I'm not sure if you can get every single one of these in her grid. I need to compute this. I need to check in my individual analysis video. But Double Down 9, Brain Sync, and Hide and Sync alone, pretty strong with pretty high stats for Luzamin as well. And, you know, you're able to hit everyone with a Psychic type attack called Prismatic Laser. She's very strong. I cannot wait to get her. And, you know, for a striker, 152 defense and special defense is actually very high. And again, this is level 135 and not level 140. So that's pretty high for defense and special defense. At 3, once you transform, before you transform, your, you know, your defense and special defense are 127. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Okay, let me move on to the next one. Alessa, or Classic Alessa and Emolga. December 9 to December 22. This is an interesting one. This is a Pokefair Scout. And this background image actually disturbs me. It's so dark. It's sinister looking, but that's just me. And this is what the not sync move, but the max move of Classic Alessa looks like, because she has her Dynamax. She has a Dynamax form for some reason. And this is not G-Max Emolga, there's no such thing as that. That's just a normal Dynamax Emolga that... I don't know why they decided to give her Dynamax. So you get Thunder Shock, which has a 10% chance of paralyzing the opponent. You get Nuzzle, a 3-move gauge attack. Not too strong, it's a pretty weak attack, but it leaves the target paralyzed. For sure. And then you get Light Screen, gives you a special damage reduction temporarily on the allied field of play. You get Sparkle. Oh no, I failed to change that image. So just accept it. It's too late to change that right now. There's Sparkle and Shine, not Stay Sharp. It reduces your sync move countdown by 1. Raises your special attack +4, and raises the special defense of all allied sync pairs +2. Then, as I said, she has a Dynamax form. So Thunder Shock and Nuzzle transforms into Max Lightning. They both deal the same amount of damage. Nothing is stronger than the other, so don't worry about that. And Max Guard gives a Damage Guard Next effect to an ally. What does Damage Guard Next effect do? Normal move, 0 damage. Sync move, half damage. So, it's your choice whether to use Max Lightning or Max Guard. Basically, again, you can use a max move once per sync pair in battle. And you can use this anytime without any move gauge requirement. Show-stopping Electric Beam is her sync move. Basically, the lower the opponent's stats, the stronger the sync move damage is. And her passive skills are interesting. Shock Factor 9 lowers the opponent's attack defense, special attack, special defense, and speed -1 if you attack a paralyzed opponent. Entry sorry. Entry freebie gives you a free move next effect. And Viral Hit 9. Once you use Thundershock / Nuzzle and are able to paralyze the opponent, every single opponent gets paralyzed. And personally, I will use her this way. At the start of the battle, you get entry freebie. Free move next. Use Nuzzle. Paralyze everyone because of Viral Hit 9. After that, I would stick to using Thundershock, and every single time I attack the opponent, I get to lower their attack defense, special attack, special defense, and speed. And I hit or I attack an opponent 6 times, its attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed goes to -6. And that's that. A very good debuffer. Again, this is like Palantine Serena with Stuns 4, except slightly better. How? Basically, yeah. Your first move is gonna be free. That's gonna be Nuzzle. Nuzzle is a 3 move gauge attack normally. So once you use Nuzzle, everyone gets paralyzed. And every single time you use Thundershock afterward on any opponent, its attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed go down. You have Palantine Serena with Stuns 4, as well as Cotton Spore. I think it's Cotton Spore. Stuns 4 paralyzes everyone because of her Go Viral 9 passive skill. And then Cotton Spore lowers the opponent's speed, or lowers everyone's speed by 2 stat ranks. Her trainer move increases everyone's speed +2 and gives you a free move next effect. And that means you get to use Cotton Spore next time for free, or Moonblast for free. But then, as a debuffer, you're only able to lower the opponent's speed using Palantine Serena. But then she has a lot of multipliers once her speed stat go up and once the opponent's speed stat goes down. Alessa, on the other hand, her multiplier involves lowering the opponent's stats. And again, you do not use any move gauge on your first attack. So basically, your first move will be free. Nuzzle free, paralyze everyone, and then start to lower the opponent's stats. So that's what makes Alessa quite interesting and good. But she does not get a lot of multipliers, which is interesting for tech sync pairs. Because tech sync pairs normally get a lot of multipliers. But this one, she only gets her sync move multiplier built in. The lower the opponent's stats are, the stronger the sync move is gonna be. And then she gets a multiplier on her max move. So basically, if you use Max Lightning on the opponent and the opponent is paralyzed, you get to deal more damage. And there's Nuzzle Paralysis Synergy 4. Basically, Nuzzle deals around 40 to 50% more damage on a paralyzed opponent. And then there's Super Duper Effective 4. Powers up your attacks when the opponent's weak to lightning. So I guess that's also interesting. And also at 3 out of 5, you get Staggering 1 on Thundershock. Every time you use Thundershock, you have a 20% chance of making the opponent flinch. And I think that's good. She also gets like what you see over here, Light Screen MP Refresh 2, Nuzzle Mad Strength 3. Every time you use Nuzzle, you you have a 40% chance of raising your attack stat. And by the way, Nuzzle is a physical attack, Thundershock is a special attack, and as you can see, her special attack and attack stat are tied at 360, and then her defense and special defense are also tied at 172. Speed quite high, and yeah. Light Screen Barricade Buddies raises the special defense of everyone by 1, but her Sparkle and Shine already raises your special defense of everyone by 2. So this is a kind of like a nice buffer-debuffer unit. But in terms of damage, we'll have to see later because I included the damage calculation or DPS thing of everyone since I'm not able to do Grimsley's analysis. So wait and see later to see how much damage Alessa deals compared to the other sync pairs in this update. And next, there's Holiday Leon and Calirex. It's my job as champion to make an appearance whenever I'm called. I don't know what's with the Leon love, but this is his 3rd outfit. And every single Leon is a limited unit. Same for Marnie and Gloria. Gloria, how many outfits do you have? But this is the 3rd Leon limited thing. I think Leon, correct me if I'm wrong, is the only sync pair that has more than 2 outfits and everything is limited. So if you decide not to scout for Leon here, you do not get Leon again until whenever he comes back. This is his sync move animation. You can see his legs. And it's so sad how they shafted Calirex because Calirex honestly deserves a nice sync move animation. Because, you know, the Calirex, or rather Ice Rider Calirex, is 2 legendary Pokemon combined into 1. That's Calirex, the crown green thing, riding a Glastrier, the ice horse. Those are 2 legendaries combined to 1. Same thing for like Lusamine with Dusk Main Necrozma. That's a Solgaleo and a Necrozma combined into 1. I honestly wish that Calirex would have been better as a Master Fair, but they decided to give him the seasonal treatment and give him a generic sync move animation. So that's that. But, you know, look at his attack stat. It's really high, 489. At level 140, that's above 500 if I'm not mistaken. So very high attack stat. Defense and special defense are quite low. Special defense particularly at 116. Special attack, speed, pretty average, but you do not exactly need special attack. Now this is what I am kind of confused about because in Pokemon Sword and Shield, Calirex, or rather Ice Rider Calirex, this Pokemon, has extremely high defense stats. And very low speed. Not the lowest, but very slow Pokemon. Very high defense stats. But I'm kind of sad that they did not build this Calirex that way. With extremely bulky, tanky defense and slower speed. But they did attack correctly. And every time you are able to defeat an opponent, your attack stat goes up +2. Every single time you use Dire Hit Plus, or X Speed Plus, or Champion Gift, you get to raise or give yourself a physical moves up next effect. And remember that this is the same as Tenacity of Guzma, which the moment you can build or you can raise your physical moves up next effect to +10 maximum stack. This time it's easier to do this. Just use Dire Hit Plus, just use X Speed, just use Champion Gift. If you actually use 2 Dire Hit Plus, 2 X Speed, and how many champion gifts can you do? You can use 2. So that will give you a +6 physical moves up next effect. And that means your Glacial Lance, once you are able to hit the opponent, is gonna be extremely strong, considering that Glacial Lance hits everyone. It's a 4-move gauge attack, but you're able to hit everyone. And with that high attack stat, Guzma's attack stat, by the way, or Cosplay Guzma's attack stat was pretty low. I think it's only 200 something. This is near 500 at level 135 and above 500 at level 140. And imagine if you 6-star EX him, it will even go higher. So this is a very strong Pokemon. Champion Gift gives you a +4 attack and a +4 defense. And you can get that +6 plus extra +2 attack stat by defeating any opponent because of Victory Flex 2. And then Cold Snap 2 makes it even better. Every time you use Glacial Lance, you have a 30% chance of freezing the opponent. So, you know, Glacial Lance hits everyone. The chance of freezing an opponent is very good, as you might have seen with if you use Getsis in battle. The thing with Getsis is you have to get it on his Synchron, Cold Snap 2. This one is built into his passives. You do not need to waste any Synchron tiles or anything to be able to freeze the opponent. It's built in immediately to his kit. So you're able to freeze the opponent every time you use Glacial Lance. You're able to maximize your attack stat by defeating the opponent. And every time you use a trainer move, you get to raise your physical moves up next effect. Strong. I'll give him Critical Strike 2. And if you're unlucky, Critical Strike 1. And yeah, very interesting sync pair over here. Let's check out his Synchron. So, where is my Synchron? 1 out of 5, you get Snow Shelter, protects you from damage in a hailstorm. And this guy benefits from hail. And how do you get hail? Nessa, which we'll discuss later, or Candice, who will have a 6-star EX form soon, who deals extremely high sync nuke damage, and who has we will finally get an MP refresh with hail very soon. Interesting. 2 out of 5, you get Champion Gift MP refresh 3, which probably MP refreshes will be good here because the moment you use a trainer move, you get a physical moves up next stack. Dire Hit Plus MP refresh 3, typical. You get Free Synergy 2, powers up your attacks if the opponent is frozen. Freezer Burn 2 powers up your sync moves if the opponent is frozen. And if you actually look at 3 out of 5, you get also Freezer Burn 5 if the opponent is frozen. Your sync moves get more powerful. And then he also gets Heavy Hail 2. This is I think a new sync move multiplier. If there is a hailstorm, your sync move gets powered up. Heavy Hail 2 on 2 out of 5. Heavy Hail 5 on 3 out of 5. Invigorating Hail 1 powers up your Glacial Lance when it is hailing. X-Speed 3 MP refresh, very typical. 3 out of 5 increases your chances of freezing the opponent by 20%. So he has Cold Snap 2, 30% chance of freezing the opponent. You get Cold Snap 1, you get an extra 20%, giving you a 50% chance of freezing the opponent every time you use Glacial Lance. Ooh! Freezer Burn 5, we just discussed that. Glacial Lance ramming speed. The higher your speed stat is, the stronger your Glacial Lance is. My goodness. Glacial Lance is already powerful enough. And the higher your speed stat is, now, the stronger your Glacial Lance is gonna be. And how do you raise your speed stat? X speed plus maximum speed. Mighty Rush 9 after you use a sync move, you get a physical moves plus next effect, which I think is also good. I'll probably give this to him. So once you run out of trainer moves, the only way to give yourself a physical moves up next effect is to use a sync move. And don't forget that every single stack of physical moves up next effect is a 40% increase in damage. 40% increase in damage. And we know now that it doesn't apply to sync moves, but Glacial Lance hits everyone and has a chance of freezing the opponent. And an additional 40% damage is quite powerful. Super Victory applies the super effective up next effect after you defeat the opponent using Glacial Lance, which is a very high chance of defeating an opponent using Glacial Lance because Glacial Lance is pretty powerful. And then their Sync freebie gives you a free move next effect after you use a Sync move, so your next Glacial Lance will be free. And then you get 2 Sync Nuke Tiles. Leon is an extremely powerful sync pair with a very powerful Glacial Lance. As for the sync move, I think it's also powerful, but I would probably use him for Glacial Lance just because of that physical moves up next. And it's a little bit more challenging to land the multipliers for the sync move. The opponent has to be frozen, it has to be hailing for it to be a little bit more powerful, or for it to be a lot more powerful rather. So I'll probably focus on using Glacial Lance, but you know, if you have him 6-star EX, you are gonna be able to hit the enemy. But I'm not sure. I think Super Victory does not apply to sync moves. So if you kill an opponent using a sync move, I don't think Super Victory will apply to you. So keep that in mind as well. And with that said, we're moving on to the second to the last sync pair, which is Nessa and Ice Q, which is also very interesting. This is a little gift from us. I hope you can take it. So this is her sync move animation. What the heck, did you just face plant? How the heck does that happen? Let's rewatch that. Ice Q flattens his head down, and then Ice just falls down? What? What a joke. That's why I don't like generic sync move animations. Anyway, this is an interesting sync pair. This is a kind of like a... How do I say this? This is an interesting build, and I think this is better than... This is slightly better than Fall Azarola in terms of something. So, this thing, Ice Q, has 2 forms. There's Ice Face, there's Noise Face. Ice Face protects you from damage, or from physical attack damage, once. And once you get hit by a physical attack move, you receive 0 damage and you transform into Noise Face. And as you might see over here, his stats are different for Ice Face and Noise Face. Ice Face has lower special attack, higher defenses, lower speed. Noise Face has higher special attack, lower defenses, and higher speed. Much higher speed, actually. And, yeah. Every single time you use Hail, you bring Ice Face back. So every time it hails, you bring Ice Face back. You get to not be hit by a physical attack move again. Now, it says physical attack moves here, so basically, if the opponent hits you with a special attack, you will receive the damage. You only block the damage from physical attacks. And I think you will also receive damage from sync moves. So keep that in mind. Now there's Powder Snow. It's a 1 move gauge attack that hits everyone. It's a weak attack, but it has a 10% chance of freezing the opponent. There's Hail, which is a 2 move gauge 2 MP attack that causes, rather a move that causes a hailstorm. And there's Icicle Crash, has a 3 or 30% chance of flinching the opponent. Icicle Crash, we have seen that with Summer Steven. Powder Snow, we have seen that with Glacia. And Hail, we have seen that with Candice. But so far, nobody has Hail MP refresh yet. Nessa is gonna be the first one. Then Candice is gonna... Once Candice gets her 6-star EX, December 25, or I don't know, maybe a little bit earlier. I think it's December 25 though. Then there will be 2 sync pairs that can bring Hail, or that can bring in an MP refresh with Hail rather. Or, you know, you can use Summer Steven. Sync move will bring in Hail, Hailbringer. Or you can use Holiday, what's that? Holiday Rosa? Is it Holiday Rosa? You can also bring in Hail with her 3 out of 5 sync move, or rather sync grid ability. Now, from me to you, raises your attack stat +2, raises your critical hit +1, and gives gradual healing effect to all sync pairs if there's a hailstorm. Now, there's Snow Shelter, protects the user from damage. There's Hasty Hail, quickly charges your move gauge. And there's Ice Phase, which we have discussed already. And then there's a sync move multiplier built into her sync move. The power increases if it is hailstorming. It's nothing exactly much to talk about here, except, you know, you get to tank 1 physical attack. Now let us just move to her sync grid right now, which at the 1 out of 5 you get nothing very significant. At 2 out of 5 you get an MP refresh from me to you. You get Hail MP refresh 4, which basically every time you use Hail, there's a 50% chance of bringing back Hail. 50% chance is a lot. It's better than 40%, it's better than 30%. 50% is good. And she is the best. I think even after Candice gets a sync grid, she is superior in terms of bringing in Hail because of that 50%. And then Hail Pep Rally raises everyone's speed when you use Hail. Healing Hail recovers your HP every time you attack when it is hailing. Powder Snow Hostile Environment increases the chance of freezing the opponent using Powder Snow. Speed Skating has a 50% chance of raising the speed of Ice Phase Ice Q when you attack the opponent. Now, take note that you have to be Ice Phase before Speed Skating will work. If you are this Noise Phase, it will not work. A lot of artsy stuff here. You need Ice Phase in order to get Speed Skating. And there's Hail Super Preparation 9, gives you a super effective up next after you use Hail. Hail Team Fierce Affliction has a 50% chance of raising the attack stat of everyone after you use Hail. Ice Plow is also same as Speed Skating. You need to be in Ice Phase. And if the opponent is weak to Ice type attacks, your Ice type attacks will get stronger. You need to be Ice Phase. What a hassle, what a pain. Icicle Crash Aggravation 1 raises the chances of making the opponent flinch. Invigorating Hail 3 powers up your attacks if it is hailstorming. Ramming Speed, the stronger your attack stat, or your speed stat rather, the stronger your attacks are gonna be. Sharp Entry 1, start of the battle +1 critical hit rate, and Soften Up 1 makes your critical hits land more easily when you use a sync move. Now, as you might see over here, she only gets Naughty or Nice Ice Impact multiplier for her sync move, as well as Hail Super Preparation 9 gives you a super effective up next with your sync move or attack stat or attack moves after you use Hail. So it's interesting that the tech sync pairs of this update actually have very little multipliers for their sync moves, because normally we know tech sync pairs have a lot of multipliers with their sync moves. So probably not a huge sync nuker here, but we will know again later how much damage they do compared to the others. So stay tuned for that. And now that you've reached this point in the video, let me remind everyone to hit the thumbs up button, because it really helps the channel out, as well as gets this video more exposure, sharing this to other Pokemon Masters fans like you guys. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do consider subscribing, because it took me forever to do this. And, you know, quality content for you guys. So if you're a Pokemon Masters fan, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because this is the perfect place for you. And with that said, we come to the last of the bunch, Sonia and Yamber. And I like that image over there. It's relaxing, it's calm, it's beautiful, I think. And it's here. It's a book I wrote. I even signed it. That makes it a collector's item. This is the only support sync pair we have. Oh, so cute. Not cute. Don't kill Lucario. Poor Lucario. Sonia. Arguably my favorite 6-star EX outfit of the bunch. I did not include the outfit, but it's my favorite out of everything in this update, because it's plain, it's simple, the colors match, I like it, it's good. Anyway, it's a support sync pair. Don't expect too much with the things she has, but she has quite good defense and special defense. 284 and 265. She has good speed. Attack damage, quite high. Special attack, I don't think she relies on special attack. I think Tackle and Spark are both physical attacks. And Tackle, typical, 1 move gauge, nothing, no additional effect. Spark, 30% chance of leaving the target paralyzed. Potion, you know what Potion does. Rough Buff raises the attack and defense of everyone +2. And then, here's the interesting part about her. The passive skills. Team Swift Reaction 9. When you get hit, you raise everyone's speed stat. When you get hit. Is she good with defenses? Not bad. Not bad. She has 2 tank hits, and every single time you get hit, you raise your speed stat of everyone. Catalyzing recovery. If you use Potion, you get a move gauge acceleration effect every single time you use Potion. You bring the move gauge acceleration effect, which is interesting. This is the first time I'm seeing this. Defense Crush 9 is the thing that makes this sync pair interesting. Every single time you attack an opponent, their defense stat goes down -1. 100%. Unless the opponent has that passive skill. Unbendable? Is it unbendable or something? That prevents it from getting their defense stat lowered. Again, this guy has Tackle. Tackle, 1 move gauge. Every single time you use Tackle, you lower the opponent's defense. 1 move gauge. Nice. And what's more interesting about this one? The Synchron. 3 out of 5, you get Tackle Staggering 2. 30% chance of flinching the opponent whenever you use Tackle. Something similar to Leaf, but this time, every time you use Tackle, you also lower the opponent's defense stat -1. Then Spark, Team Fast Track 4, every single time you use Spark, you have a 50% chance of raising the speed stat of everyone. Now, you don't need to get hit with Team Swift reaction. You just need to use Spark and there's a 50% chance of raising everyone's speed stat. Rough Buff MP Refresh 2, Rough Buff Critical Squad 1. So every time you use Rough Buff, instead of just raising your attack and defense, you get to raise critical hit rate too, which, you know, support units, raising critical hit rate is a must for support units, at least in my opinion. And now that Sonia can raise everyone's critical hit rate, this is good. Potion Master Healer and Potion MP Refresh, same as, I think this is same as Skyla and same as Leaf 1 with 2 out of 5 and 3 out of 5 combined. And then 2 out of 5 Spark, Hostile Environment 1 raises the chance of making the opponent paralyzed. 3 out of 5 you get Endurance, oh there it is, Unbending. Unbending, defense cannot be lowered. And interestingly, she gets a move or an attack move multiplier, Insult to Injury. The lower the opponent's defense is, the stronger your Tackle and Spark are gonna be. Tackle and Spark are not exactly strong attacks, but you know, as a support unit, it's fun to see attack move multipliers on a support. There are some with those, like I think Kiawe has an attack move multiplier, which is fun. And now Sonia has one. Now what can I say about Sonia? I like her. She's not like Eevee that can, every time you use potion you get to heal, or you rather, it's like a full heal combined with a potion. She cannot raise the special attack, special defense stats unlike Eevee. But you get to raise quite a lot of stats. Eevee, if I'm not mistaken, cannot raise critical hit rate. This one can. With Rough Buff, you get to raise everyone's attack, everyone's defense, everyone's speed, and everyone's critical hit rate. Attack, defense, speed, and critical hit rate. And again, she has Potion, and every single time you use Potion, you get to have a move gauge acceleration effect. Every time you attack an opponent, you get to lower their defense stat. Every single time you use Tackle, there's a 30% chance of making the opponent flinch. And every single time you use Spark, there's a higher chance of paralyzing the opponent if you combine all those that I said. So, Sonia, I think she's a very interesting support unit. I'm not sure how she compares with the others that came out recently. I'll do a separate video on that. It's gonna be the last one. But I like her. Interesting sync pair. I like her quite a lot. But she's Spotlight Scout. So once her banner ends on January 7, she'll be available forever. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as you decide to scout whether or not to go for Sonia or not. With that said, we have finally finished talking about each one. So again, make sure you hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button right now. And now we move on to a little comparison of the 6, which took forever to do as well, with this chart over here. Kimono Grimsley, Signature Luzamine, Classic Alessa, Holiday Leon, Holiday Nessa, and Sonia. As you can see over here, Grimsley has the lowest HP, lowest special attack, but I think you do not exactly consider his special attack anyway. I forgot to gray out some of the stats. Just let it be like this. And the lowest speed stat out of everyone. But he has the second highest attack stat. And that is the thing about him. He has a lot of attack, or a very, very high attack stat. And again, Kimono Grimsley, the way to use him is pretty interesting. You have to receive damage first, counter that damage, and hopefully kill off the enemy when you do the counter. Maximize your evasiveness, recover back full HP, recover back your defenses and stuff. Interesting sync pair. Signusuit Lusamine, on the other hand, is the master fare of the update. You get your highest special attack stat, which Prismatic Laser, Steel, I forgot the other move, and her sync move all relies on special attack stats. Defense stats, not the lowest. The lowest belongs to Holiday Leon. And Signusuit Lusamine also has the highest speed stat and the highest HP, which is interesting. Alessa, classic Alessa, is a debuffer unit with neutral, middle ground stats all around. Holiday Leon has the highest attack stat, very, very strong attacker. Lowest defense and special defense, typical for strikers. And an average speed stat, quite low actually, almost at 200. Holiday Nessa is a Hailbringer unit with also a pretty high attack stat at 403. 700 plus HP, which is not bad at all, second highest. Defense and special defense on the middle ground, second highest, but tech unit, I guess that's fine. Speed stat, quite low. Sonia, on the other hand, support unit, so expect her to have the lowest attack stat. And second lowest special attack stat. HP 661 is fine. Highest defense and special defense across the board. So, now that we've seen this, not exactly very important. The most important thing is the multipliers. So, here we go with your multipliers. Kimono Grimsley has Harry 3. When the opponent is flinching, you get to deal more damage. Insult to injury, the lower the opponent's defense stat, the stronger your attacks are gonna be. And critical strike 3 on Metal Burst, also at 3 out of 5. Again, Metal Burst is a 1 move gauge, or rather 1 MP attack. If you do not get an MP refresh on Metal Burst, why waste critical strike 3 on Metal Burst? I'd rather build him as a Iron Head unit. And then at sync move multiplier, the lower the opponent's defense is, the stronger your sync move is gonna be. And Haymaker is also at 3 out of 5. The higher your attack stat is, the stronger your sync move damage is gonna be. I think his trainer move is called Stay Sharp. And that maximizes your attack stat immediately. So Haymaker will deal maximum damage immediately. Now, as you might see over here, all the multipliers except for the built-in target defense thing is locked at 3 out of 5. So if you want to get those, you have to have 3 copies of Kimono Grimsley, or else you don't get a multiplier at all, except for that built-in multiplier which you see over there. That's Kimono Grimsley. Signusuit Lusamine, on the other hand, wait, Haymaker does not belong to her, I'm sorry. Remove Haymaker from that list. That it belongs to Kimono Grimsley. I don't have time to remove that, but slash that off right now. She gets Critical Strike 1 at 3 out of 5. Weird Vibes 1, which is when it's Psychic Terrain, you get to deal more damage with your attacks. Gets Super Duper Effective 2 and Super Duper Effective 2 after you sync with Lusamine. And Super Effective up next. I think it's the start of the battle. You get a Super Effective up next health when your HP is full. And then Sync Move Multiplier, you get Brain Sync 5. When your special attack stat is raised get to deal around 50% stronger sync move damage. Critical strike 1, again lock at 3 out of 5. Double down 9 if the opponent is weak to psychic type attacks. Get to deal 90 to 100% more damage. Hide and sync, the lower the opponent's accuracy is, the stronger your sync move is gonna be. And the way to do this is either use her metal attack, her steel type attack, or you get the 3 out of 5 sync grid tile that has a 50% chance of lowering everyone's accuracy stat. It's super effective up next. Again, start of the battle. If you enter the battle with full HP, get a super effective up next. And again, slash the Haymaker. That does not belong there. Even without Haymaker, she gets quite a lot of multipliers. Brain Sync 5, Critical Strike 1, Double Down 9, Hide and Sync, super effective up next. Let's just say super effective up next will not last until the sync move. But that's a lot of multipliers for a striker. Very much a lot of multipliers for a striker. Like Guzma, I think this is more than Guzma actually. It's cosplay Guzma because we had to slash out his Tenacity 3 multipliers there because we thought that it applies to sync moves as well. This one does not have to rely on those things. Classic Alessa only has one sync move multiplier with the built-in, the lower the opponent's stats are, the stronger the sync move damage. And then attack move multiplier. I did not want to put a max move multiplier over here, but max static shock 3 applies to a max move. If the opponent is paralyzed, your max move, max lightning, deal more damage. Nuzzle, if the opponent is paralyzed, you get to deal like 40 to 50% more damage with Nuzzle. And then the super duper effective 4, if the opponent is weak to electric type attacks, you get to deal more damage to the opponent. Okay. Holiday Leon, lots of multipliers as well, but has a lot to do with freezing the opponent as well as hailstorms. Freeze energy 2, opponent frozen. Invigorating hail, it's hailing. Physical moves up next. You know, use a trainer move, raise your physical move next. Or, you know, use a sync move, you can bring that physical moves next. Also, there's the physical moves up next, which you can bring with the sync move 3 out of 5. Super effective up next, if you are able to defeat the enemy with Glacial Lance, you get a super effective up next effect, which applies to both sync moves and normal attacks. And then there's Glacial Lance ramming speed. The higher speed stat is, the stronger Glacial Lance is gonna be. Nice! And then sync move multipliers, Freezer Burn 2 and 5 deals with the opponent being frozen. Heavy Hail 2 and Heavy Hail 5 deals with when there's a hailstorm. Super effective up next. Again, if you're able to defeat an opponent using Glacial Lance, his attack move, you get a super effective up next effect. Nice! Holiday Nessa. Ice Plow. Complex 1. It's a super effective up next. Or rather, not a super... It's a super duper effective 3. Except that you have to be in Ice Head. Is it Ice Head? Ice Head. You have to be in that form, or else Ice Plow will not work. Which is a pain, because every time you get hit with a physical attack, your Ice Head will disappear. Or Ice Face rather, not Ice Head. Ice Face. And you will transform to Noise Face. So you have to use Hail again in order to bring back Ice Face, which is honestly a pain. And I don't know if... You know what, let's go back some slides. And I want to confirm. When another sync pair uses Hail, Ice Face shifts the user with Noise Face to Ice Face when it uses Hail. No. That means Nessa has to be the one that uses Hail. in order for Noise Phase to become Ice Phase, not another Sync pair. That's a real pain. That's a real pain. Invigorating Hail, when it's hailing, you get to deal stronger attacks. Ramming speed, the higher your speed stat is, the stronger. Super effective up next. 3 out of 5. I forgot how you trigger it. Let me just go back a couple of slides again. Super effective. Super Preparation 9. Okay, when you use Hail, you get a super effective up next effect, which applies to both sync moves and attack moves. And now we go to Sonia, who interestingly has an insult to injury. The lower the opponent's defense stat is, the stronger her attack move damage, and nothing for the sync moves, which is typical for support units. And now comes the damage. The damage computations, which again are done by Jack and Bernard in my server. Now again, there are lots of things to consider here, and let me just show you, because I do not wanna talk too much about it. So let me just bring that slide up to you guys. It says over here, overview. For maximum potential, everyone has to be max level, 5 out of 5, 6-star EX. All sync grid tiles will be filled. All units will have the critical strike 2 lucky skill. No gears and theme skills will be included. The maximum possible master buff will be included. All stats are at +6, crit at +3. All possible buffs, blah blah blah. Pause the video if you want to read those things. But that is the thing there. And yeah, these are the DPS and the sync nuke damage of everyone. As you can see over here, let me just lower my head a little bit. The highest DPS is undoubtedly Holiday Leon, because we are considering that he gets physical moves up next +10. Maximum physical moves up next. We're assuming he's +10. That means you can hit the opponent with 10,701,720 damage. Excluding the opponent's defenses and stuff. When you are at maximum thing, and the thing is, you can hit everyone. And Guzma does have a lot of damage, but you can only hit one opponent using Guzma. Leon, you can hit everyone. Kimono Grimsley has pretty high DPS, or rather sync move damage, but this is defeated by Signasuit Luzamine with 16,507,476. Really powerful sync nuke damage. And you know, classic Alessa only like has 1 or 2 multipliers, but 10 million. Holiday Nessa, 7 million. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Even stronger than Leon. And as you might notice, lowest is our support unit, Sonia, but that's pretty much expected for a support unit. But for those, well, that's the thing. And since I cannot discuss Grimsley, I do not have another video for Grimsley. Let me just show you their computation for the strongest steel type right now. As you can see over here, the strongest DPS in terms of steel types is Raihan at 3,346,000. Grimsley is ranked at number 2 for DPS, 3,326,000. Not very far apart. But Grimsley has the strongest sync move. Nuke damage. Sync nuke damage for steel types. This is followed by Gloria with 5,408,458. Followed by Steven with 5,071,928. So, that's that, guys. That's that. thank you so much, Bernard and Jack, for the computations. But again, now that we're here, remember that Grimsley and Sonia are both Spotlight Scouts. If you were to scout for someone, we did a computation of the gem count video. If you haven't seen it, link will be in the description, or it will be in the final part of the video when 2 videos appear there. So I will put that there. There we will be receiving around 30-something thousand gems, including the gems we received yesterday and this month. 30,000 something gems. That's almost enough to go scout points on 1 unit. And, you know, out of everyone, honestly, the most worth it will be Lusamine because Master Fair. And if you want to save and scout another sync pair in the future instead, maybe go for the presents, because you get a lot of presents with your first 5 multi-pools on Master Fair banners. You might want to skip on Grimsley, but I know a lot of you really like Grimsley and would scout for him with most of your gems, if not all your gems. So I'm not stopping you. I'm here to just bring in my analysis for everyone. Grimsley has the highest steel type stick nuke damage. But again, in order to maximize Grimsley, you need him at 3 out of 5 because that's where his multipliers come in. Meanwhile, Leon, very, very strong attack damage. Unfortunately, he's a seasonal. And seasonal units, you know, last until their banner ends and will appear again in 1 year or slightly less than 1 year. Classic Alessa, low DPS, not too high sync nuke damage. Pretty high, but yeah, pretty high. But low DPS, but perfect debuffer. 5 stats, debuff every single time you attack a paralyzed opponent. Nessa, Hailbringer. But I think if you were to skip a sync pair here, if you want to scout for anyone and skip a sync pair, well, skip the spotlights and probably skip Nessa. Because out of everyone here, I think Nessa's kit is not just complex. I mean, you have to be in Ice Phase. If you're not in Ice Phase, stuff happens. You get to not get all the multipliers and stuff. And we already get a nice heal unit in the form of Candice. Candice is free, 3-star, can be 6-star EX. So, if you want to skip anyone, skip Nessa or skip Alessa, both ending in SAs. But Alessa, I feel that she is very good because, again, lower 5 stats. Signasuit Leon can lower 7 stats, but it's only a 50% chance. And we're talking about a 4 move gauge attack. Alessa can lower 5 stats with a 1 move gauge attack. Perfect debuffer. Very nice debuffer. Sonia, on the other hand, I already discussed it. I really like Sonia's kit, but she's Spotlight. So maybe skip on Sonia. And, you know, Sonia lasts until January. We'll know who the next sync pairs are gonna be for January before December ends anyway, so it's a bit too early to scout for Sonia. I mean, she comes out when? On December 28th, was it? Or something like that. Again, I'm here to just bring in info for you guys, analysis for you guys. You scout whoever you want to scout. Scout for your faves and not for the meta. And I would say that Signasuit Lusamine is the meta right now. So it's up to you if you want to scout for her or not. But I do recommend scouting at least 5 times for the presents. At least for the presents. And again, there's a 12% chance of getting a random 5-star with Master Fair banners, but only a 1% chance of getting Signusuit Lusamine. So I wish you all the best of luck and do not get shafted, hopefully, while you're scouting for these guys. Oh, December 23, not December 28 for Sonia. With that said, that concludes my Sync Pair analysis video, at least in a bird's eye view for these guys. I'll be analyzing each one except Grimsley in more detail in the coming days / weeks. Probably have to do Lusamine soon. So, I hope you guys appreciate all the efforts. It's 7:13. I have to take a shower and go to bed. Wish me luck tomorrow in my scouts for Grimsley. I'm gonna invest, hopefully not reaching 13,500, because I'm gonna save up for Lusamine. Not have enough gem bundles in order to go for Grimsley. So, wish me luck. Wish you good luck as well if you're scouting. And with that said, you know what to do. Thank you to all my members. Welcome Victor Gonzalez to the member, to Spatial Force as they call it. Thank you to Shadow Phil and Marcella for being top tier members. Thank you Aryan and Blaze, Great Ball tier. Victor as well. Thank you So Nicholas, 1 year, awesome. Thank you for the support. I jumped. Let's just enumerate you guys one by one. From the top, thank you Shadow Phil, So Nicholas, Aryan Singh, Blaze, John9019, Pop Leo Gaming, Roy Ackerman, Luca Midi, Arima Kose, Popwhat, Vishal, Chrome Dome, Sasori Embryon, Blue Rose, Marcella, and Victor for the support. Thank you so much. If you want to help me out as well with my efforts and everything, you know how hard I work for you guys. Click on the join button and become a member of this channel. And if you want to push a little bit further, you can give me a super chat out there and help me revive my Patreon or something. I did not update my Patreon at all, but I'm gonna update it as soon as I get someone to support me there. So links will be in the description. But thank you very much. Every single thumbs up and subscribes and shares help out a lot in my channel. We got to 7K. Let's make it 10K soon. Thank you. This has been Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt, the artist team's called Grunt. And I will see you in the next video. Right.